What's happening, Joe? What's going on, man? Hope you're staying warm. I don't know if you can hear me over the music. Let me turn the music down. Morning, Brian. How are you doing this morning? How's the audio? Can you guys hear me okay? Is the fire too loud? Is the music too loud? Yeah, Florida would be nice. It's, I think it's like 19 degrees here. 18 degrees, something like that. It's fucking cold as fuck. I don't know though. I'm sure it was this cold. I mean, I know it was this cold temperature-wise when we were in Colorado last month, but it's different. Uh, I don't know why, but 0 degrees in the mountains or in the bowl of a mountain doesn't feel like 0 degrees here. It's bone chilling cold here. What's happening, Albert? Audio is good. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Oh, I really don't. Surprise, surprise. Don't have anything really to talk about. I just wanted to come live and say good morning before everybody starts waking up and we get to see a bunch of fuckery. Plus, I want to watch the Cowboy game this afternoon, obviously. And I thought y'all might enjoy a little bit of a fire. At 19 degrees and it's still warm for this time of year. Yeah. Yeah. January and February, these are our two coldest months. Down here, and they were saying, oh, it's winter storms, Canadian front, blah, blah, blah. And I don't feel like it's too early for this kind of weather, but it seemed like February every year, even if it doesn't, freeze up and precipitate. February is always our most dangerous, coldest, if it's wet, month. So, yeah, Joe, it is good sleeping weather, that's for sure. That's for sure. I woke up at 4 and I could have slept another couple hours, but I had to pee like a fucking Russian racehorse, so I just went ahead and got up. I knew it was going to be cold as shit out here on the patio, so I thought I'd get the fire pit going and get the heaters going and try to warm it up some out here. Good making love weather. Yeah. Yeah. Man, I didn't realize my phone audio was so terrible. I tried to record a video the other day. I had a whole tirade and complaint against Home Depot, and I recorded it as I drove over to Lowe's. It was really good, and then I even hit the upload button, and of course, because I was on my network, it was taking forever to upload because it was like a 20-minute tirade, and I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad I was able to stop it before it uploaded, because I got back in the truck and I was driving home and I thought, well, let me give it a listen and see, if everything's okay. And the fucking audio was crackling like crazy, like there's something wrong with my mic on my phone. I've been trying to call my dad a couple times late last week, and I thought he was fucking with me because he'd get on the phone and he'd be like, hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm like, yeah, I can hear you. He's like, I can't hear anything. I thought he was just fucking around, but maybe he's not. I tested it with Voodoo Queen, and she said she could hear me, but I don't know. You got too much grinding dust off of that microphone of that phone or something. Good banging weather. Oh, y'all, Voodoo was so mad at me yesterday morning. Oh, so mad at me. So it got down to like 20 degrees night before last night, and a couple years ago, I had installed this vanity in the master bathroom, and she picked everything out. you know, and it's got like one of those, I guess it's like a faux marble top or whatever, and it's dual sink. But it was the faucets that she picked. Yeah, they're, anyway, they're nice and all, but, you know, you're thinking I need to open the faucet just a little bit and let the water run so pipes don't freeze or whatever, which I kind of think is sort of a wives' tale anyways, just depends on the location, you know, and in the house of the faucets and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, the way these things are designed, they're not designed for like trickling water out and fucking flooded, like halfway flooded the master bathroom, and like, yeah, got some shit wet in the vanity. Needless to say, I was in some deep shit yesterday morning. She got up. Fuck. Yeah. So, got all that shit cleaned up, and yeah. So I'm sure I'll be hearing about that one from time to time. You know how it goes. Yeah, I don't mean the whole thing as a wives' tale, Brian. I think that like people, I think that it gets over exaggerated, like the benefit that it has. Because if you think about it, you know, running water will freeze, um, especially if it's not, you know, like a running creek or a river. Uh, you know, that it's got some force behind it or whatever. Um, it will freeze. So people going and opening their faucets on the outside of the house, the hydrants, you know, for the water hose and stuff, if it's going to get below freezing for, you know, 3, 4, 5 days like it would here, if you don't have antifreeze hydrants, it's almost best to open them like and open them just a little bit. It's almost it's better to do that and let that freeze like after it's below freezing, you know, not too terribly long after it gets below freezing, rather than just open the damn thing up, you know, and let it run and run until it does freeze. My fucking neighbor last night, had his goddamn sprinklers on. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But whatever, it's his fucking driveway and his portion of the alley. You know, I don't know. Fucking idiot, but no, I know it's not a wives' tale. I mean, I know it can help in certain situations, but I think, you know, most people go and open every single faucet, and I should have opened in this in particular instance. I shouldn't even have fucked with the sinks. I should have just like opened the tub a little bit, or maybe the shower that's in there, because those two are on exterior walls and the sinks are right across from it. So, even though, don't tell Voodoo I said this, I have a problem with putting things in a wet location that have design flaws, as it was put to me, to where you can't utilize them in the manner in which you would utilize something that belongs in a wet location. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one that paid for them, and I'm not the one that picked them. Not that I would have ever known this, anyways. That you can't. I didn't know I couldn't do that. Like, so, you know, either way, it doesn't matter what I say. It's my fault. Morning, Dave. How you doing, man? 14 degrees. That is minus 14 degrees. Woo. Well, yeah, I mean, in a mobile home too. You know, I mean, it's like almost a parent beam house. Yeah, so there's a lot more exposure to the elements underneath the home. So it would make it extremely difficult to keep those pipes thawed, or you'd have to keep the water running. I forgot to look on our bill to see what they're charging us per gallon. No, I do not need Ellen to come warm me up. Oh, what I need Ellen to do is to come busting in here and give me a fuck you good morning and just start spurging her ass off. That would be fucking awesome. You know? Sunday morning spurg with Ellen. We can start off with the weather forecast. Like, don't give her a cigarette before she comes out. Comes on. Make her wait on a cup of coffee and a cigarette so she's good and grumpy. I don't know why, but I feel like that would be hilarious. So, anywho, what's going on around the tubes, y'all? Well, Brian, you absolutely have to do it on a slab foundation here because all of your hydrants are exterior. Obviously, um, they're piped. Not along, say, like the actual exterior of the house, but very few of your hydrants on the outside actually run underneath the slab. That's not like common here. Of course, it would depend on the builder and the layout of the home, obviously. But for most of these tract homes, these ranch style homes that were built in the 50s, 60s, and 70s around here, and of course the ones that are even built today, a lot of that piping is outside. It's 16 to 18 inches below ground, but they absolutely will freeze. Um, Also, coming out of your like usually your kitchen, uh, your your drain for like your sink and your dishwasher if you have one. Depending on the age of the house, the washing machine may used to have been near the kitchen and share the very same, like, fittings and unions and all that. Um, but those oftentimes have about a 2 to 3 foot leg of drain pipe exposed for the cleanouts. Um, and so, it's good to keep. Usually, I run warm water down, coming out of the water heater because it's a bitch to have your fucking sewer pipe freeze up. In fact, I try not to run the dishwasher and or the washing machine. Usually, when cold weather like this hits, I try to take a shower beforehand and just get all that done. And if you have to basically not bathe unless it's absolutely an emergency, you just don't fucking do it because that fucking shit backs up because it's fucking frozen and it starts coming back in your house. It's a pain in the dick to get rid of. But and again, if you've got bathrooms on exterior walls in the home, you absolutely want to run the water because, like in the sinks or maybe the tub, because it'll freeze and the pipes will expand and they'll burst, especially if you have like PEX. People say, "Oh, that PEX is great stuff." Bullshit. I had a PEX union bust last year, and it was on a fucking interior. It was a water line on an interior bathroom. Not a fan of the PEX. I don't like it. Yeah, hydrants called outdoor faucets. Yeah. Albert Mel, the tube said, "I am Billy Bob." And that's like Lady Lie's pet name, I think, for you. Dave, Ellen is too much woman for a lot of people. Yeah, Dirt Guy, that's true. It's supposed to be, but that's not always the case. Dave, we have slabs and pier and beam here. There's not anybody that's got a basement here that was custom built. Yeah, water should never sit on them, but the ground here moves a lot. Texas has shit tons of foundation problems, man, because of the shitty grading that these builders do. And it depends on what the land was, a long time ago, like, I don't know, 70, 80 years ago. A lot of these homes that were built in the late 60s and 70s and 80s, some of the older burbs, I guess, uh, compared to today's standards, they were built on landfills that were landfills back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s and 50s. Yeah, so the ground around here moves a lot. If you were lucky enough to buy and say like a development that was nothing but cotton fields um, before it was developed, a lot of those neighborhoods sit on really good ground. Old East Dallas has some really good ground, but still it was built on landfills. But those landfills were a hell of a lot older. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, there's like there's a lot of different neighborhoods around that are different. These people, there's a shit ton of people moving into what we call the mid cities and around Fort Worth and stuff, and I feel like in the next 20 years, like there's going to be. I'll put it this way: foundation companies ain't going to go out of business anytime soon. That's for fucking sure. I've always had water lines and exterior walls. Never had them freeze. It was sustained. Yeah, well, they'll freeze here. They absolutely will freeze. I think the biggest difference, Brian, is the insulation. Maybe. I could be wrong. I don't know. Never done any. I think I replaced a toilet floor seal one time in Virginia back in like 2001. That's the most work I've done uh, up along the eastern seaboard, I suppose. But if I had to guess, I would say it's probably the insulation. Guys, I'm gonna pour me another cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Alrighty. See, best thing to do if you know it's going to be freezing bad is plunge your drains with water. Not if you are concerned, stagnant water. Yeah. I had my old house. It was built in '63, and the original plumbing layout, the drain ran from the kitchen on the north side for the washing machine and the sink and the dishwasher, which all were on the north side of the home exterior wall. And of course, the '63 was before my time, so I don't know what the diameter of the original drain was. I would assume 2.5 inches or 2 inch or whatever. I think it was 2 inch. But it wasn't enough because my grandparents were the ones that had that house built. And I guess over the years, probably not too terribly long before I was born, they had upgraded the appliances or added appliances like maybe the dishwasher, and I'm sure the washing machine, which had a lot more capacity to it, so there was a lot more volume of water, and that pipe that was running underneath the house, to the main drain, it couldn't handle it. And I know at some point in time in the '70s, they had work done, and they had that pipe, instead of chiseling up the foundation of the home and replacing the original drain pipe, they ran it 2 feet, 24 inches down, and then ran it around the outside of the home to connect in the backyard with the main drain into the original, from the city side. Well, I know one year, it was many years after my grandfather had died, and my grandmother was living there alone, and I can't remember why, but for some reason I was putting some towels or something in her washing machine, and she kept telling me, it'll freeze, and I said, no, it's not gonna freeze, blah blah blah, it ain't gonna do it, that's all been replaced, da da da. I mean, she was old. I was basically acting like she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. Brian, that fucking thing didn't even make it through a goddamn drain cycle. Because, I mean, it was like, I don't remember, it was like maybe 15 degrees or some shit. That motherfucker, it froze before the drain cycle even fucking ended. It froze and tried to back up into the thing. I mean, it literally took, it seemed like seconds, maybe a couple of minutes. So, I mean, it absolutely will fucking freeze. Like I said, I think down here it's such a problem because of the insulation. A lot of people don't. I mean, it's not needed. I say it's not needed. We don't deal with it for extended periods of time. So, because I mean, all the plumbing work that I've done in the homes I've been in here, other than exterior stuff, there's no interior stuff that's insulated. And I do know that it's frowned upon to run, water lines into the attic because of that problem. And everyone that I've ever seen that has a water line going from somewhere to somewhere else in the attic, they're never fucking insulated. I mean, if they have any insulation, it's just one of those little styrofoam tubes, and that's it. I'm like, no, I'd be wrapping that motherfucker like a goddamn Christmas present. That shit, I don't even know. Just because I've done repair work on water heaters and attics and stuff like that that weren't properly insulated, because the mindset is, well, it only freezes for a day or two, maybe twice a year here. You don't really need it, blah, blah, blah. And then, well, you don't need it until you do, right? Until you've had a water line burst and it does a couple $1,000s in damage. Oh my god, my chat is being spammed. Sorry guys, I wasn't paying into the chat. Good morning, Miss Joe. Oh yeah, Miss Joe, y'all are getting it. Y'all are seriously getting it. Northeast, we have to have 4-foot frost walls on top of a 1-foot footing, even under a slab on grade. Yeah, I would imagine so. Amanda, you're northeast of Texas, I think. Not sure where you are, but 15. Yeah, I hear it's cold. Cold weather. Faucet furthest from where the main comes in. Yeah. Most of the time, it's a venting problem, not the pipe size problem. Yeah, or there's been movement, in the in the dirt underneath the foundation. I know that house I was just telling you about. That was my grandparents' house. That wasn't my first house. The first house I bought was also built in '63, and it was pier and beam. It was a little 1,200 square foot home, and the ground had shifted so much in that thing that the 2-inch pipe, it came out of the the wet wall, I guess, and you would say, and it was on a decent grade on the way down, and then it took like a 2 or 3 degree trek uphill for another like 10 feet, and it was like going back downhill, so there wasn't any hope of it. I mean, you couldn't pour like a gallon of water down the damn thing without it fucking flooding, so I had to get up under it and redo all that. But yeah, you're right. A lot of times it is the grading, and it also depends on the washing machine motor too. I think not the motor to turn the washer, but the uh, impeller or whatever, because some of that water comes out pretty fucking fast. And when those pipes were laid, they weren't moving that many gallons per minute through those pipes. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I think I can't remember on that first house I bought. I don't recall that I changed the drain. I think the drain diameter. I think all I did was get the grade right, and then I think on that one the only other thing I did was in the main bathroom of the house, because it was a 1.5 bath. So the master bathroom didn't have a tub or a shower. It was just a toilet and a sink. Uh, but the main bathroom, uh, I didn't like where the toilet was in the bathroom, so I moved it. And I think that's the only real, other than the water heater, that's the only plumbing work I did to that house. But if I was going to change it to like a 3-inch or a 4-inch, it wouldn't have been hard to do, because none of that shit was underground. It was just under the house. Yeah, Brian, and like I said, they're a lot better about it nowadays, I think, than they were back then. Um, and who knows? Over the years, some of that shit may have just disintegrated up that I would see. I have no idea. What is the belly board, Amanda? I don't know. I probably know what it is, but I don't know. the name. What is belly board is closed, so that helps. Are you talking about the vents on the bottom, like on the bottom of a pier beam house? Yeah, the sewer absolutely can freeze. Hell, I didn't know this. We didn't experience it in our neighborhood, but 2 years ago here, we had that really, really bad ice storm, and there was a lot of people that lost power around Dallas and Fort Worth, but we didn't. Um, and but a couple of my coworkers did, and one of them in particular, his neighborhood, they couldn't even use their gas because the gas lines at the gas lines outside of the homes and in the gas lines, I guess, coming in or whatever for the however it's distributed, they froze, and so the gas couldn't get to the homes. I had never heard of that. I didn't know that it was possible that could fucking happen. It didn't happen to us, but it happened to a couple of coworkers of mine that don't live too far from me. Oh, okay. So I guess you might be. Maybe you're talking about what I know as we call it skirting. Maybe is what you're talking about. I don't know. It had a city sewer 12-inch main under the street freeze during an ice storm back in the early 90s. That was loads of fun. Had to pour boiling water manholes. Holy shit. Excuse me, guys. I had to sneeze. Whew. Allergic to the cold. It has plastic, then insulation, and pipes. It's all enclosed except for two tiny spots for the new water heater drain. It's overflow. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is, man. Probably seen it, probably handled it, but I have no idea what it's called. I know one thing. I'm seriously, I'm done with Home Depot, y'all. I'm not. I'm gonna do my damnedest not to go back. I'm sick of them. I am. I'm tired of their. I'm tired of their shit. Hang on a second, guys. I gotta plug my laptop in. Give me just 1 second. Oh, there we go. It has a skirting all the way around it. If you are sitting under the home and you have see plastic, all manufactured homes have it. Okay. Yeah, it's been quite a while for me since I've been up underneath one of those homes. It maybe like 30 years. So I don't I don't recall a whole lot about them. Shit, I can't even think of the last time I walked in one. I mean, I used to live in one years and years and years ago when I was when I was a child. Uh, my grandfather had bought my mom one, and I couldn't tell you what brand it was. All I remember about it was I think it was like a 14 or a 16-foot wide by 80 feet long. Uh, and when we were plumbing in he did all the work himself to get it set up, and I was just a boy, so I helped. And that was the first and only time I've ever been stung by a wasp, because I grabbed a hold of the back bumper uh, of the trailer when he was plumbing in the master bathroom, and I used that bumper to help slide myself up underneath it, and I grabbed a hold of a wasp's nest, and it landed in my lap. And I only got stung once. I mean, there must have been 150 of those fuckers swarming around me. But yeah, he got me like right on my inner thigh on my right leg, and I cried like a bitch in the car because I was terrified. And then I got over it, and then went back to work. That's really about all I remember about the underside of a trailer. But eh, that hurt. Mm. I have since been stung by multiple jellyfish and an asp. And I think the jellyfish, well, I mean, I've been stung by lots of jellyfish, but I had one time. Oof. I was out doing some boogie boarding and with my ex-brother-in-law, and I kept telling him, let's go out deeper, let's go out deeper. And he was reluctant. So he was about 50 yards from me, and I was in about, I don't know, maybe chest high water, so what, like 4 feet deep. And there were some pretty good waves coming in, and I caught this wave, and I was boogie boarding along, and then it crested and crashed over the top of me. And when that happened, all I know is my whole entire right leg and my chest, well, I almost drowned. Him and another guy pulled me in because I was choking, and I was in a lot of pain, and I couldn't, it was like I was paralyzed. And sting, oh my fucking god. I mean, other than shattering my femur, I don't know that I've experienced anything worse than that. The asp hurt, but it was very localized. This was all over my body. It felt like it was terrible. And but yeah, the stings from the other things that I've had over the year, and nobody peed on me. Before you ask, I may have peed on myself. I don't know, but nobody peed on me that I recall. But yeah, those other stings that I've had were way worse than that wasp. Oh, look. Hey, Rebel. What's going on there, buddy? Did I swallow what? Oh, hey, AC. Rebel at 7 a.m. Shouldn't you be going live to sit there and sulk quietly? What you doing over here? I guess I've been stung by the welder a few times. That's always fun. It'll wake you up, that's for sure. You just happen to be sleepy. Yeah, you know, it's okay. He can be mad. He's mad, he'll just get glad again, I'm sure. Giant plastic runs the whole home. You also see two steel beams, one on each side. Well, wait, I don't remember steel beams on the side. There may have been some. I remember the ones in the, like where the tongue is, and then at the very back. No, not slag spatter. I'm talking about like so. This one time I used to TIG weld hydraulic fracturing, basically plumbing parts. So these were like large aluminum, uh, fittings and pipes, like 10, 12, 14-inch diameter, eighth inch wall, aluminum pipe that were like 40 feet long. And they'd have like a female end and a male end, and they put them together, and that's what they get rid of that or move around, like say frack water, uh, used frack water with around a fracking site. But anyway, so like you go grab one of these tubes. I mean, they're light, and you can pick one up by yourself. So I go out on the yard, and it might be raining or something. It wouldn't be soaking wet, but wet enough, or maybe, like your elbow or something has got, you know, uh, a little bit of moisture, because everybody tends to like lean on those pipes. But, anyways, so yeah, alternating current, a lot of alternating current, maybe a little sweat, a little moisture in the right place. You're leaning on the pipe and you go to strike the arc, and kaboom. It can be an electrifying experience, if you know what I mean. Morning, AC. Isn't it nice, Rebel? Nice time, enjoying the fire, having good conversation. Unlike your little bitch fest that you have over there that sucks a fat donkey dick. Oh yeah, you got blocks, you got tie downs, and all that good shit. Yeah, I think I remember that, Brian. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've been up under one, but I vaguely remember all that. Let's see. Is Rebel saying he's pissy? Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Rebel, man, you were getting you had a nice little deflection onto that baby love chick last night. You like flipped out and started attacking her when Katie was knocking your dick in the dirt, and COVID's was slapping you around a bit too. All of a sudden, you turned and you started to attack that woman. Let's see. How much did you pay them to ice me out, BTC? Oh, Rebel, let me tell you, dude, if you knew how much money it's cost Voodoo and I to get you in the place where you are now, you I don't I hesitate to say what you would do, honestly. You'd be sick. Absolutely sick. Oh, you're welcome, AC. No worries, bro. But yeah, did y'all notice that? He just started attacking the shit out of her when he was getting slapped around on that panel last night. I thought it was funny as hell. You are more than welcome, AC. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I wasn't gonna say anything, Brian. Don't be rude to people, Rebel. Jesus. Here we're having a nice time. Oh man. So Rebel, a year of probation, bro. Mm, ouch. Dude, I would do a year standing on my head, no problem. But I gotta say, uh, I gotta say, that was a boneheaded move, bro. Boneheaded. I mean, you think about it. I'm sure the DA was offering you probation, maybe a shorter probation term, with 24 hours of community service. Uh, but seriously, man, you all you had to do was go do something other than YouTube for 3 8-hour days. That was it. And then you could have just not worried about any of this bullshit. They they wouldn't even have had time, if they were so inclined, to give you a drug test that would give them an accurate picture as to whether or not you were on drugs, because it would have taken that long, 30 days, to get out of your system, and they know that. You could have walked with nothing. Literally nothing. You probably could have made some good connections for weed at a discounted price. You probably, who knows what kind of connections you could have made. Some networking you could have done. And your dumb motherfucking ass chose to give money to the state that you claim is shitting on the lesser than citizens. How does that make you feel, bro? I mean, I've always had this question, like, do stupid people know they're stupid? I don't know. Just don't know. Crazy. You spit on our names? Could you do that on camera for us? Could you, like, spit on the Galaxy S8 so that you're spitting on all of us? Thanks in advance. He needs prayers, Amanda. At least he doesn't have to worry about getting pulled over for speeding. That's true, dirt guy. I notice all of you who mess with this guy stay here with him. I don't know what that means. You people are garbage. Let's see, Brian King says, I prefer maxing out to doing time on paper. Probation sucks. The only time I took probation over jail was when I didn't have anyone to take care of me. Yeah, some people, I mean, it just depends on your situation, I suppose. Dave says probation still has to pay his lawyer. He will never complete either one. I know it's sad, Dave, and it's so fucking stupid. I love how he claims that he's so street smart. What a dumb fuck. You don't feel anything, Rebel? That's because you're too stupid to feel anything, I think. I just wanted to see you make yourself suffer, bud. Just want to see yourself suffer. Right? Well, it's suffering here. You're the one going live all the time talking about suffering. Brian says, at least he's not dependent on someone else's welfare to survive. Oof. Yeah, Amanda. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a criminal record since the last time I was arrested. It's great. Yeah, what a boneheaded move. What a fucking boneheaded move. How are you gonna get that money? That's what I'm curious about. And you know what's funny, Rebel? Like, let's say you had never done what you did to us, which isn't much. You were just a dick, and you pushed us away. We had no expectations that you were, ever going to do the right thing with the money that we gave you, right? Like what you lie and say. Um, and let's say none of that had ever happened, and we were just like slowly kind of ghosting, backing away, back into the bushes, and all of that shit. And maybe you spurred here and there, maybe not, who knows. And I don't go necessarily out of my way, and neither does Voodoo, to dunk your head in the toilet in chats from time to time. And then you end up in the same situation you're in now, knowing damn good and well that you need money for fees and court costs and whatever else it is you got going on. If you think in your stupid, ridiculous, tiny little fucking brain that we would give you money for that, you are out of your motherfucking mind. Completely out of your fucking mind. Connie has 0 street smarts. He's never driven through a hood. He's whiter than Amanda, and she is Arkansas white. Well, all of his ancestors are white. Haven't you seen their portraits and their statues, Brian? They were the first white supremacists. Arkansas white. Yeah. I mean, I think if you're gonna throw it out there, maybe I don't know. I was gonna say like maybe Alabama white or Kentucky white. I don't know. I think Amanda's just trying to say you're white. I'm white. I'm white. My truck is white. My dog is white. My last 2 dogs have been white. Girlfriend's white. Wife's white. Kids are white. My propane tank is white. He looks Greek. Yeah. I think Ellen's the one that's Greek. He's like, if he's Greek, he's only like half Greek. Because I believe actually he's got some Puerto Rican in him, if I'm not mistaken. What a combination. Where did he go? Probably went live. Book of bedtime clown. Blah, 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 blah. Your boyfriend is white and your son is black? Yeah. Well, y'all think the Cowboys are going to be able to beat Green Bay today? I honestly don't know if they deserve to beat Green Bay. I mean, I think it would be a shame if they lost just because Green Bay ain't all that great. And they'll just go to the next round and lose anyways. So that's crap. And I suppose I should be happy with the Cowboys this year, but I'm really not. I think it's all a farce. I think I'm happier that somebody sedated Jerry and managed to have him in some kind of stupor slumber state where he, led Jimmy Johnson into the Ring of Honor and he can't undo it now. So, to me, that's the biggest win of the season. The rest of it is just a bunch of hoopla, bunch of bullshit. I think Jerry is secretly pissed that the Cowboys went this far into the playoffs. I can't believe that you are where you are in the standings and you're still playing on wild card weekend. That's why I don't have a lot of faith in this team. And the big talk here at Dallas media is Bill Belichick. And I'm like, please, God, no. Please, God, no. No. Please, God, no. So, anywho. Amanda, I believe we're, or Dave, I think we're playing here at home in nice, warm Jerry World. So, yeah, it should be a cakewalk for the boys. Be a nice little vacation for the Packers. But I'm sure, if the Cowboys win, San Francisco's going to whoop their ass. Because I don't, how many years has it been Dak's been the quarterback? I have not been sold on Dak Prescott at all. You see some impressive athleticism from him from time to time. Well, most times, really. But that's athleticism. That's not football IQ. I think he lacks football IQ, and I don't think that he's near as confident as the media builds him up to be, and as he portrays himself when it comes to football IQ. And I think that's a detriment to the position, no matter who you are. Look at whatever that kid is that they've got in New England. Dude's dumb as a fucking rock. There's several other ones around the league that are that way too. They suck. But I think Dak is just hype. That's really all he is. I don't remember what game it was recently. I think it was the Buffalo Bills and the Cowboys, and the whole time Dak was going out there and he was trying to hit up Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb deep down the field. And the reason I call out his football IQ, which is what people used to call out years ago about him, you just don't hear it get talked about much anymore, is because Cooks and Lamb, well, and even Pollard, when they put him in a receiving, formation instead of running back, like they know, they can see what the defense is doing. a lot of times they know, right, that they're going to get double coverage or whatever in the secondary, and maybe they need to run a little route underneath. And he kept throwing the ball fucking 25, 35, 40 yards down the fucking field to shit that just wasn't there. The reason I question his football IQ is because Mike McCarthy might be calling the plays all day long, and he's forcing Dak into that shit, and Dak is just doing what he is wanting, McCarthy that is, rather than trusting his eyes and his gut and what he's seeing on the field. There were so many times during that game that both tight ends were open underneath, and balls going sailing way the fuck over their head into double coverage trying to make catches with Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb that just weren't going to fucking happen. But that went on for 4 fucking quarters, and it's so fucking frustrating to watch. And then after that, we played, I guess we played Miami, or maybe the Jets. I can't remember. Then Miami. I don't recall now. And it wasn't until this last game that finally they were getting balls underneath and playing underneath. And it's like, seriously? Why do your adjustments take like 9 fucking quarters to happen? So, say what you want about Mike McCarthy. There's a reason why, in my opinion, that Aaron Rodgers ran that offense, and Dak just ain't got the backbone or the IQ to do it. So it's a bad combo. But I don't want Bill Belichick's old crusty ass down here. I love Bill Belichick. I really do. People call him a cheater or whatever. I am a Belichick fan. But I don't want him anywhere near Dallas, to be honest with you. All right, let me check in with the chat because I've been neglecting. I'm sorry. Another one of my tirades I tend to go on. Let's see. I need my reading glasses. Yeah, I understand that, Poon. I understand. Not on the Cowboys, not constantly. And that's if they get thrown a ball they can fucking actually catch and handle. Ferguson ain't the greatest fucking tight end to ever take the field, but then again, look who he's taking the field with. Look, man, I love the Cowboys. Okay, I really do. But I've had a question about this bullshit for a long time, and I don't think that Dak had the best start he could have had in the league. Just like because of Jason Garrett and because of Jerry. I think that I really wished we would have gotten Matthew Stafford, but the timing wasn't right. Wasn't there? Yeah, he's got an outstanding deep ball. But you got to have guys down there to catch it, man. Let's see. Uncle Nick is retiring, and I'm sad. Yeah, there's a lot of people that hate that guy around here. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, you can throw all that shit out there. Hey, Poon, name some other quarterbacks that earned those titles and stuff, and then tell me where they went and what they did during winning Rookie of the Year and leading the league in completions and all that kind of shit, and then tell me where Dak's at. I'll wait. I stopped watching football when it stopped being a sport and became a 3-hour billboard back in the Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Bo Jackson, etc. Yeah. Well, Poon, I personally think that he can't. He's not that. It's not that he's not that athletic. I think that he's probably not being allowed to run. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but if you watch that throwing off of his when he throws, that odd ball off his other leg, it's like, I know that's an awkward throw, but that's not the same athleticism that you see on those same throws out of, like, say, Patrick Mahomes. Um, I just feel like there's probably some injury potential there, and I think he's being held back from it a lot. When he does run, it's like so blatantly open. He did have an escape last week that was pretty phenomenal. He's had a few in his career like that, but I think he's kind of on a leash when it comes to that kind of thing because of the injury potential. And I don't think it's Jerry worried about his quarterback going down. I think it's more Dak than it is the staff. Dak's stats are better than 95% of all quarterbacks since he's been in the league. Again, where's Dak been? Where's he been? Where is Dak usually in January and February? I mean, you can beat that drum all you want to. We both know, and everybody listening to this conversation knows, that what matters is where the fuck you're at in January and February. Hell, look at Drew Brees, right? Drew Brees has set records that Tom Brady was never able to touch. How many Super Bowls does Tom Brady have? And how many does Drew Brees have? Now, I'm not saying Drew Brees isn't a great quarterback. What I am saying is Drew Brees would not disagree with me. I don't think. Yeah, Dave, you're not wrong. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Dave. Hey, look, on paper it looks really good. He's looking really good right now. Before 3:30 p.m. today, he's looking great. Except, right, they're in a wild card matchup. what? What the fuck, dude? How many times have we been in this position over the past 30 fucking years? I'm tired of it, man. I'm just tired of it. So, like I said, they get beat by Green Bay, and then Green Bay's going to get fucking toasted. And then it's like, yeah, so here we'll be going into Dak's been with the Cowboys for a decade, and we're back to, well, let's exchange one wore out pair of socks for another wore out pair of fucking socks and hope for the best. Meanwhile, Jerry gets his goddamn way, which is 8-skate and still owns the most profitable, for some fucking reason, sports franchise in the history of the fucking world. Because that's all Jerry really gives a fuck about. He doesn't give a fuck about the Super Bowl. He doesn't give a fuck about the fans unless they're paying money. That's all he fucking cares about. It's not about winning. That's a bunch of bullshit. But anyway. I'm very passionate about the Cowboys. And I'm not a fair weather fan, but I'm not going to set myself up for disappointment either. San Francisco, they want to win. You know, Detroit, they want to win. Are you talking about Troy Aikman? Why are you talking about a guy that's been retired for fucking forever? I mean, plus Troy has 3 Super Bowls. 3 Super Bowls. I don't give a fuck about stats. 3 Super Bowls. I'm sorry. You can have 10 pages of statistics and then you can have 3 Super Bowl rings. What would you rather have, Poon? A 3-ring fucking 6-inch thick binder of statistics with no fucking Super Bowls, no appearances, no divisional playoff wins, no conference wins. I'm sorry, Dak's got like maybe one, I think, divisional. But none of that, right? Or would you rather have 3 Super Bowl rings? I don't know, man. Me personally, I'd rather have the 3 Super Bowl rings. I mean, I could be wrong. Listen, I'm not above eating your hat if I am wrong, right? I mean, you know, so. No, I'm not putting everything on Dak. No, don't get me wrong, man. But somebody has to throw the ball or hand it off. Do they not? I mean, so a lot of it does fall on Dak. And somebody has to tell Dak what to do. That's kind of my point behind all of this. There's a lot of quarterbacks that don't have to be told constantly what to do, you know. And I don't remember the exact setup it was during the Buffalo game, but it was fourth quarter. We had been trying to throw the ball the entire fucking game. I think there was like 6 minutes left. We were fourth, and I want to say maybe 3, something like that. Or was it third down? Okay, it may have been third down, third and like 3 or third and 10, something like that. I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but I said, look, just fucking run the ball. It doesn't matter. Pollard had no open windows that entire fucking game. He wasn't getting anywhere, right? They ran it. I guess dude, I want to say it was on fourth down. And they weren't going to punt. Mike McCarthy wanted to throw the ball. He had thrown the ball 3 times in a row. That's what it was. He had thrown the ball 3 times in a row, 3 incompletions, and they were going to end up turning the ball over on downs. And instead of Dak running it or giving it to Pollard or whatever, because they were playing the safeties so fucking deep, Buffalo was. They were expecting the throw. They weren't even going to blitz on that play. He totally possibly could have run that ball. They were going to turn it over on downs anyways. It didn't fucking matter, statistically speaking, right? And instead, Dak does what he's told and tries to force it and throw the fucking ball instead of being like, you know what? Mike is not necessarily wrong all the time. What's it going to matter? What's he going to do? Bench him? Fucking run the ball. Do what you want to fucking do. And that's what I'm talking about Dak's IQ, man. I'm not slamming the guy and saying he's a horrible quarterback. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is I don't believe that he's got the confidence that people think that he has, and I don't believe he's got the IQ to be an elite quarterback that ends up getting banners and rings. That's my point. I think you've got 8 years worth of statistics, or 9 years, however long it's been, and I've got 8 or 9 years worth of no banners and no rings. That's what it ultimately comes down to, dude. In my opinion. No, I don't think Lamar Jackson has a higher football IQ than Dak. But you know what Lamar Jackson can do? He's got a killer deep ball as well, and that motherfucker can run. So, you know, sometimes you don't need to be smarter. That's just my opinion, man. Look, I'm a welder. I'm not a fucking statistician, and I'm not a sportscaster. You know, I'm just a cowboy fan who's tired of Jerry and his hate and skate. You know, it's ridiculous. Anybody that looks at the man and knows anything about the dude knows goddamn good and well he don't give two flying fucks about winning any motherfucking thing. Why would he? He's got literally billions of other reasons and things to concern himself with. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's not every owner. Not every owner is that way. You know, so yeah, it's great when they're winning. It's great when they look good. It's great when they actually show up and put on a show for everybody. But when they don't show up because they're not capable of fucking showing up, you know, that's when it looks like a complete and total farce. And it's like, fuck, I love the game of football, but why do I bother with this fucking letdown? You know? But I don't know. That's just me. But Brian, to address your thing that you said earlier, yeah, I mean, he probably did have the highest quarterback rating in history, but there's like two or three records that, and maybe three or four, I can't remember now. I'd have to look it up, but I think there's at least two or three records that Drew Brees has set. I want to say it's like passing yards. It may be completions. I don't know, or maybe who knows, but something like that that Tom Brady will never be able to catch, or would never have been able to beat. So he'll always be like number three or number four or number two or number three. I'm sorry on that list. Drew Brees is number one. I just can't quote verbatim exactly what they are. It's been a couple of years. Hang on, guys. I'm going to mute for a minute. Voodoo Queen just got up, so. It's cold out here. Poon, what's the temperature where you are? It's so cold. It's cold here. It's super cold. It's 13 degrees here. Yeah, we got 13. It'll probably drop a couple more. It'll probably drop a couple more degrees right as the sun comes up, I imagine. Well, y'all, I think I'm gonna get off here. I just wanted to come and say hello, see what you guys are up to. Don't have a whole lot planned for today, just stay warm. I'm about to have to change this tank on this fire pit. So I'm going to get that done and get ready for football. So yeah, Poon, I really do. I hope for the best for him. You know, hopefully we win, and you know, hopefully we fucking go and win a Super Bowl. But I got to tell you, man, San Francisco is going to be a bear to get through. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm just, you know, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm a bitter fan. You know, I'm not a fair weather fan. I stick with the motherfuckers through thick and thin, but I get fucking sick of it. I get absolutely fucking sick of it. But you know, so I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I would love nothing more than to see Dak just go out and give the solid performance that we've all been told all of these years that he's capable of giving. You know, I think everybody that is a fan and not a hate watcher, I think everybody had a lot of high hopes back in 2015 or 16, whenever that was, whenever we got Dak and Elliott. And I hated that we booted Dez, but I think the doctors. I think that was more of a doctor's decision, even though they don't talk about it, than anything. But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of high hopes that year, and then of course, you know, Zeke had the off the field issues that he had, the suspensions, and then the next year or 2 years later, you know, we barely had strung a season together with him, and then all of a sudden Dak was hurt, and it's just been a snooze fest ever since, for the most part, you know, and like I say, man, I really do hope the best for him. I just feel like deep down inside, it's just going to end up being slightly better than Tony Romo, which is going to end up being not good enough. But yeah, somehow I doubt that, Poon, but that's okay. You're allowed to think that. Yeah, Brian, thanks for coming by, man. And you too, Dave, and Dirt Guy, and everybody else that came in and said hello. Amanda, Albert, trying to get back to see who all came in. Rebel, you suck donkey dicks still, and always will. AC, thanks for coming in. Yeah, we had a pretty good manly stream going on here. Miss Joe, thank you for coming by. Stay warm. And Joe Samuel, thanks for coming by, y'all. And yeah, we'll see you around the tubes, I suppose. I will be busy from 3:30 to whenever the Cowboys start getting their ass handed to them. So might see you sooner than rather than later. But y'all have a good one.